outside of peptides, what's exciting you? Is it stem cells, V cells, exosomes, all of the above? What's out there that's really
All the
exciting you?
things,
All of it?
I think
Yeah.
there's such a richness in what's coming out right now. But
Yeah.
even people that are really focusing more inward, focusing on
Mhm.
energy,
Mhm.
on the individual, the power of the mind that it has on facilitating healing and regeneration in the body, we
Yes.
forget, right? We run around looking for the supplement, the practice, like, the whether it's stem cells or V cells or all the things, and we kind of forget, like, going back to basics, which is, what are you nourishing your body with? Are
Mhm.
you moving? Are you getting outside? Are you sleeping well,
Mhm.
properly? And you've spoken about this a couple of times today. Like, are you working on your thoughts, on
Mhm.
your inner terrain,
Yes.
right? Because that inner terrain energetically is going to have everything to do with how well your body is able to heal.
Yes.
And like you, I have a podcast, and I've interviewed a couple of people over the last year that are just like, they're doing such amazing work in this space. Like one woman who was virtually wheelchair bound, who tried everything, and at the end of the day, it came down to what was happening in here.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
she got out of that wheelchair. She does a TED talk where she comes out in a wheelchair, and she, next thing you know, she's walking around stage in her Manolo Blahniks, which nobody should be able to walk in. So, so I think it's what excites me the most is also the attention is as we're going outwards, right? With the
Yeah.
stem cells and the exosomes and the V cells, which by the way are from within, just to be clear.
Totally. Yes.
Um, that there's also a whole branch of this space that's saying, hey, don't forget about inwards. Don't forget about, releasing past trauma or resolving past trauma. Don't forget about that inner child that is still trying to work shit out. Sorry,
Yeah.
bad word, but, still
No.
trying to
Curse
work
away.
things out, because sometimes those things are also holding us back.
Those things are often the last pieces we need to truly heal, what I've seen. Because we have so many patients come from around the world with chronic disease that walk through these doors at our center and get all the different types of IVs and all these things we're talking, peptides, NAD, like all this and energy work. But in the end, my mother's a psychologist who works here as well. And we say now it's time to really address the emotional side, your trauma, those psychological
Mhm.
issues. And people are just like, nope, don't want to deal with that. I feel
Nope,
much
nope, nope, nope,
better.
nope.
And guess what? They didn't make it to the finish line.
Yeah.
They felt better because you're boosting with all this stuff. Their body's taking in the information, of course. But if they don't address what's going on in their head, they will never truly heal. And we see it so many times that you just stop before the finish line when all you had to do is address that relationship with your family member, that
But it's the
childhood
hardest thing.
trauma. It is the hardest thing, and that's why
It's the
people don't want
hardest
to do
thing.
it.
Yeah. It's
But
the
it's
hardest
the
thing, and you
most
can't.
worthy thing,
Yeah.
right, to
Yeah.
get you there.
I couldn't agree with you more. And the problem is you can't pay somebody else to do it for you. It's a little bit
No,
like the
no.
ayahuasca, right? If you
Yes.
outsource yourself to ayahuasca and think that you're just going to trip out and then come out the other side a better version of yourself,
Right.
without, like, there's integration,
Yeah.
there's the intention when you go in. And I think that that's one of the biggest mistakes we see happen. And then you see these people who are doing ayahuasca every 3 weeks or every 2 weeks or every month, and then they end up messed up
Yes.
because they're kind of missing the point, right?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. No, I think this is the beautiful part that people are missing. It's very sexy to focus on the new peptide, the new
Mhm.
exosome, all these words we're throwing out, and very interesting. And you're right, they're all within us already. It's not like
Yeah.
we're trying to create something out of nothing and some new found compound. They're very sexy. You should look at those things. You should get excited about them. But if you don't have the foundation of what you're thinking, what you're putting inside your body, what you're doing, connecting with nature, doesn't really matter. Those two have to go together, and you have to have the foundational piece to truly be superhuman. So